Hey beautiful people, what is up and welcome back to my channel. I'm Jamila and I love all things beauty. I love all things makeup, I love all things skincare, and I especially love sharing my tips and tricks for how to find high-end and luxury beauty products at bargain prices. If that sounds like something you are interested in, I would absolutely love if you would consider subscribing and joining the fam. Okay, so I'm getting ready to go meet my little sister now. So I thought I would just do a quick little get ready with me using the new Natasha Denona palette. Now this is going to be a little bit of a get ready with me / review. I got this palette, ooh child, like a week ago? No, not even a week ago. I got this palette on Sunday, almost a week ago. Yeah, almost a week ago. And I've tried it twice. I took it with me to Seattle to see Colin and Steven. Well, I went for work and I ended up seeing Colin and Steven. So I've tried it a couple of times. So this is not really a first impressions. I do have some thoughts, as I always do. I have some thoughts. But yeah, so I thought I'd use this again to do a quick get ready with me. So let me go through my regular kind of review style. In terms of product details, this palette does retail for $69. It's pretty much available everywhere. You can buy it on Natasha's website. You can buy it on Sephora. I say wait for the Sephora VIB sale. It is not that serious. If that is any indication of how I feel about this. Now, it does come with, it's a midi-size palette, so it does come with 15 shades. This was made in Italy. It has a 24-month shelf life. And I don't know if this is vegan. I don't see anything about this being vegan or cruelty-free, so there's that. So I'm going to do some quick swatches for you guys. Really quickly, this is a part of her dream collection. So it does include a face palette that has a blush and some highlighter, as well as like a lip bundle thing. Bob. I don't think it's a lip bundle, but there's like a lipstick, a lip gloss, and a lip liner. Now, I did not buy those other two products. Here's the thing. This is Natasha's dream. And Tasha's dream ain't necessarily my dream. Partly because of the fact that Tasha and I are not the same skin tone at all. So when I saw the cheek trio, I was like, okay, that blush ain't blushing me. The highlighters I could make work, but that blush ain't doing nothing. And that lipstick and that lip gloss and that lip liner is going to give me concealer lips, which we're not doing that in 2022. Now, the eyeshadow palette, however, that does work for me. It is a color story that is versatile enough that it works for my skin tone and it works for a lot of other skin tones. So here we have the palette just up close and personal. Again, we have 15 shades. This does have a mix of mattes, regular mattes, the cream to powder mattes, some really high metallic shimmers. This is more of like a satin shade. And then we have this multi-chrome here. It's not the strongest multi-chrome. I think I am going to put that one on my eyes today. But I just letting y'all know it's not the strongest. I do think that we have a duochrome in here as well. Yes, we have one duochrome. This bright orangey pinky shade is a duochrome. It's, again, not the strongest duochrome. So let's just dive into some quick swatches, and then I'm going to put this on my eyes because I'm already running a little bit behind. So we're just going to go row by row. So here we have the first 4 shades. Blackest Black, Aspiration, Serenity, Carpe Diem. And this is a beautiful transition shade for me. Here we have the next 4 shades. Babies, Instinct, Thrill, Unity. You can see the shimmers are very, very reflective, very, very high shine. Okay, here we have the next 4 shades. Risk, this is the satin shade. Invention, this is the duochrome. Vision, this is the multi-chrome. And Edgy, this is one of the cream to powder mattes. And this is the final 3 shades. So we have Spontaneous, Nutia, Familia. Okay, so here's the full dream palette. You can already see this is nothing special. This is a palette we've all seen before. These are shades that we've all seen before. It's a very, very mauvey palette. So, I mean, you guys are already getting pretty much my raw thoughts, but it's definitely not a special color story by any means. Anyways, I'm wiping this off, and then we will get started on one quick eye look, because I gotta get out of here. Okay, so I'm gonna start by going into the shade Carpe Diem first, and use that as my transition shade. Really good pickup on the brush. No, this is actually a look that I did a couple of days ago. I'm recreating basically the first look that I ever did with this palette, which I really, really enjoyed. And when I think about this palette, I really, really just want to use the multi-chrome, so we're just gonna recreate that look today. Now, the first thing I observed about this palette is that there's really, really good pigmentation in these transition shades, and they blend so easily. So you can start really light and blend them out if you have like a lighter complexion, or you can start light and build it up if you have a deeper complexion. Next, I'm gonna go into this shade, this red shade right here, to deepen up the crease. It's called Instinct. This is a cream to powder matte. Now, if you're not familiar with Natasha's cream to powder matte, these do not apply well with a fluffy brush, so you want to go in with a little bit of a denser brush to pick up that product. And they do blend out a lot lighter than they appear in the pan. So if you know, are scared or intimidated by the shade, don't worry, they blend out pretty light and you can build it up. But these can be really tricky if you're not familiar with the cream to powder formula. But all it takes is a little bit of a denser brush to get the pickup, because the cream doesn't pick up on like them fluffy brushes. So I'm really concentrating that red shade in the outer part right here. Baby, now I'm going for, I'm a star in my own movie. Now introducing the new me. Now, cleaning off that same brush, I'm gonna go into the deeper cream to powder matte, the shade Edgy, and I'm gonna use that in the outer corner to deepen things up even further. Now, where Instinct was more of a deep plum, kind of mauve shade, Edgy is definitely a deep purple. I don't have some trick on my sleeve I can show you, but I can guarantee you look at me and see that I'm the type of girl you're not really that used to. I'm only gonna give it to you honestly. You can already see that even though this is a darker shade, it isn't the same depth as what it looks like in the pan, and that's what I mean by these cream to powder mattes definitely don't apply as dark as they look in the pan. And lastly, for the mattes, I think I want to deepen things up a little bit further, and I love that we have these two options for deepening shades. So we have a matte black and a deep brown. I'm gonna go into the brown because I don't want it to get too deep and grungy, so I'm picking up a little bit of that brown. It's called Aspiration, and I'm just gonna concentrate that into this outer part to just add a little bit more depth on top of that deep purple. There we go. Now you could also do this exact same thing with the matte and get the same effect. Sorry, with the matte black. Time I've given up, I'm taking back now. I've been spending all my hours differently. Okay, eyes are looking really, really good. Told y'all this was going to be a quick look. And then the last thing that I want to do is I want to go into the shade Unity. So this is the multi-chrome in the palette. You'll see straight hair head on, it looks like it's a pink shade. And then as I start turning, you start seeing the green here. Yeah, so there's a little bit of pink, green, gold in there. So we're gonna just take my Sonia G Wicker brush from this Lotus set, and I'm gonna pick that up on this brush and just apply that all over the lid. Now this does have a very, very kind of creamy texture in my opinion. You could also apply this with your fingers. You guys know I love applying shadows with my fingers. But I really like this wicker brush from Sonia G. Like, this picks up all shadows with zero issues.
okay. Even when I'm broken, feeling kinda hopeless, I've never been the one to run away. I could let this
See that? Gorge.
it would be so easy just to break, but I'd rather do it the hard way. I'd rather do it the hard way.
And again, if you want this a little bit more intense, you can always go over it with your finger to just pack that shade on. I'm just adding more with the brush. Okay, we are good to go. Actually, I want to try something. I know I always say, you know, I'm keeping it simple, I'm real done, and then I'm like, well, how about we try this thing? Okay, I want to add a little bit of razzle dazzle. So I'm gonna go into this shade, the dual chrome in the palette Invention, and I'm just gonna add that to the very top of this eye look. So I'm picking it up with a almost like a stiffer brush, and I'm just gonna line the top here with this shade.
But I know I'll be okay. Even when I'm broken, feeling kinda hopeless, I've never been the one to run away.
Okay, I add a little something, nothing too crazy. All right, so this is where I'm gonna leave the eyes at for now. I'm gonna go do a little bit of blending, finish up the rest of my face, and I'll come back and let you guys know my final thoughts.
I'd rather do it the hard way. I'd rather do it the hard way. I'd rather do it the hard way. I've been taking every cup of coffee black now, sugar coating everything.
This is a look. Okay, I'm back, and this is the final look. I like how this turned out, but I do have some thoughts about the palette, so let's get into it, okay? Let's talk. Let's tiki-talk about this. So the Natasha Denona Dream palette, and I posted this on my Instagram story, so if you guys don't follow me there, you might get some of like my raw initial thoughts there first. I like this. I can't say one bad thing about the quality of this palette. Like, I can't say that it doesn't blend. I can't say that it is not pigmented, because that wouldn't be the truth. Like, it is a really nice pigmented blendable palette. And what I do appreciate, and I said this in that video too, what I appreciate the most about this palette is every single shade here shows up on me in a way that isn't ashy. Like, the transition shades that Natasha picked actually work for my complexion in a way that they work as transition shades and not simply as blend out shades. Now, granted, for someone of a deeper complexion, they may be blend out shades, but I do think that this was a really nice curation that can go for someone of a lighter and of a deeper complexion. I really like that she gave us two deepening shades, this black and this brown, so you don't have to use the black if it's something that's intimidating to you. Now, the multi-chrome in here, I said this is not the strongest multi-chrome. I didn't expect it to be. These more mainstream brands definitely are not going to give us indie quality multi-chromes, so... And yes, I know Natasha is an indie brand, but she is a more mainstream indie brand. So I definitely didn't expect to get the shiniest multi-chrome. Same with the duochrome. I don't think that those were any sort of like standout shades when it comes to like thinking about the other multi-chromes on the market. Where I feel like I'm torn on this palette, not even really torn, is that this is nothing new. It's nothing special. And I get that this is Natasha's dream. This is what she wants in a palette. But at the end of the day, I felt like after using this, I could dupe this palette using shades in her own collection. Like, it would be one thing if I had to dip into another brand and mix and match brands to get a palette that I felt this way. But I thought about retro, I thought about glam, and I thought about bronze, all in this one palette. I felt like it didn't stand out to me as something special. Now, is it a really well curated palette? So if you don't have anything else from the brand, you might enjoy this 100%. This is beautifully curated, but it's not a special color story by any means, and it's not even special within Natasha's own brand. So while I feel like this is nice, it's definitely not something that I feel like I needed to have in my collection. Am I gonna use it? Of course. I don't like mixing and matching palettes, so having everything in one palette makes sense for me. But personally speaking, it's not a standout because it is a color story that we see well repeated. Like, Pat gets a lot of flack for repeating color stories. This is the exact same, and I don't see Natasha or Charlotte or anybody else getting the same kind of critique, and this definitely feels like it's repetitive for the brand. But like I said, the quality, no complaints. None of that. It's just that I didn't feel as excited after having it in my hand. And granted, when I saw it, I wasn't super excited then too, but I bought it anyways. and I used my points, so I didn't pay full price. If you really want this, please wait for this to go on sale, either the Sephora VIB sale or Tasha's Black Friday sale, because it definitely doesn't spring need for me. Okay. Anyways, let me tell you guys a little bit about what else I have on my face, because I forgot to mention that. I am actually wearing my Urban Decay Stay Naked foundation, my LYS concealer per usual. For bronzer, I used my Dior bronzer in the shade 8. For blush and highlight, I went in with my Pat McGrath trio. So I usually end up mixing these two shades. This is Venus Nectar and Paradise Venus. And then I use the highlight here, which is, it's Love Struck, Paradise Venus, and the highlight is Venus Nectar. So that's the other products that I have on my face. And that's pretty much it for this look. And for today's video, I hope this was a relatively quick one. If you guys liked it, go ahead and hit that like button. Leave a comment down below letting me know if you picked this palette up, if you picked this palette up, if you plan on picking it up. This will of course be in a rankings video coming up very soon. But yeah, leave a comment down below, like, subscribe, follow, you know the deal. I have to get out of here because Taki's on the way. So thank you guys so very much. I love you, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye.